Hi, and welcome to Fun Maths with Kenny. Okay, we'll be going over this IGCSE paper. So if you're writing the IGCSE, okay, we'll go through this paper. You can also check my channel, Fun Maths with Kenny, for more papers like this. If you haven't subscribed, please subscribe. Thank you very much. It means a lot to me. All right, so we get started with this paper right away. Foundation IGCSE November 2024. All right, so let's look at this starting from question 1. Starting from question 1. Which of these 5 tunnels has the greatest length? Which one has the greatest length? So when you look at it, the greatest length comes from the biggest number. So the biggest number is 24,512, okay, and that is ladder. So let's say ladder, something like that. Sorry if I did not get the pronunciation right. Okay, so that has to be the greatest. Okay, write down the value of 9 in this number. So this is simply 900s. Most of you can do that. Okay, then the third one, the length of one of the tunnels when rounded to the nearest thousand is 17,000. Write the name of this tunnel. So which one is very, very close to 17,000? It has to be St. Gotthard. Okay, so St. Gotthard. Let me just put G in short. All right, we move to the next one. Write this number in words. 12,940. The way you say it is the way you write it down. Work out the length, the total length of Albert Tunnel and Jim Pingshan Tunnel. Okay, so the total of Albert and Jim Pingshan. So Albert is 13,972. Jim Pingshan is 17,540. So when you add it together, 13,972 plus 17,540, that will give you 31,512. Most of you can add, so I'm not going to waste time with that. 31,512. Okay, so we go to question 2. We have 2 shapes. Write the mathematical name of the triangle. So this triangle where 2 sides are equal is called an isosceles triangle. Where all sides are equal is equilateral. One side, 2 sides equal, like this is isosceles. Where no side equal is scaling. So 2 sides equal isosceles. Then write the name of the quadrilateral. So this is obviously a square because all sides are equal. We move to the next one. Draw the line of symmetry on the triangle. So a line of symmetry is a line that divides a shape into equal parts. So using a ruler, you can draw something like this. Okay, sorry, mine is inaccurate. So with a ruler, there's only one line of symmetry. Then write the order of rotational symmetry of the quadrilateral. When they say rotational symmetry, they mean when they turn it around, okay, they turn it the other way, can it still be cut into equal parts? So for a square, you turn it this way, yes, you can break it down. You turn it again, yes, the other way, yes, and yes. So the order of rotational symmetry is 4. Okay. All right, we go to question 3, pictogram. Monday has all this. So 1 square represents 4 kilometers. How do you do that? So write the number of kilometers Thomas traveled on Tuesday. So 1 square is 4. Now for Tuesday, you got 4 squares. So that is 4 times 4, which is what? 16. So you can say that Thomas traveled 16 kilometers, okay, on Tuesday. Then the next one, they said on Wednesday, Thomas traveled further than he did on Thursday. How much further? So let's get for Wednesday and for Thursday. For Wednesday, we do 4 times 4, okay, which is 16. Then if the full square is 4, one part is going to be, if you cut into one part, that will be 1, 1, 1, 1. Okay, let me show it here. So if you have 4 in total, 1, 2, 3, 4. So 1 each. 1, 1, 1, 1 to make it 4. Okay, so that means this one is 3. So we can say 16 plus 3, this is 19 for Wednesday. And how much for Thursday? It is 4 plus 4, 8 plus 2, that is 10. So how much further? Wednesday and Thursday, 19 take away 10, and that will give you 9. On Friday, Thomas traveled 13 kilometers. Show this on the pictogram. So you know squares are in fours, okay? So 13 is 4 times 3, 3 squares, okay? Then you add 1 to make it, yeah. So you have the squares 4, another 4, another 4, 4 in 3 places. That makes it 12 with a tiny box to make it 13. So 3 large squares, 1 tiny square. Okay, let's look at this question. Number 4. Work out the difference in temperature between a height of 0 meters and 12,000 meters. So for 0 meters, the temperature is 12, you can see. And for 12,000 meters, the temperature is negative 58. So work out the difference. Difference means subtraction. So what do you do to work out the difference? Okay, 12 is bigger than negative 58 minus negative 58. Okay, so we know that negative is positive. So this will give you 12 plus 58. And that gives us 70. So the answer is 70 degrees Celsius. Okay, so then the next one, work out the difference in temperature between a height of 4,000 meters and 6,000 meters. Okay, so 4,000 meters is negative 17, 6,000 is negative 32. What is the difference? Negative 17 is bigger, so negative 17 minus negative 32. Okay, so in doing this, this is negative 17. Negative is positive. So negative 17 plus 32. Okay. So anytime you have this, sometimes students say this is like negative 49. No. What you need to do is you need to do the swapping strategy. Anytime negative come first. Okay, let me take an example. You have negative 8 plus, let's say, 12. So what do? Bring the positive forward, take the negative backward, do the swapping. So that gives you 12 minus 8, okay, which is 4. Or the other way, start from the back and know that negative belongs to just 8, not the whole thing. So go 12 minus 8, which is 4. So in this case, let's go 32 minus 17, okay, and that will give us 15. So this is 15 degrees Celsius. Then we go to the next one. At the height of, okay, 10 degrees Celsius. At what height is 10 degrees Celsius warmer than the temperature at the height of 9,000 meters? Okay, at the height of 9,000 meters, we have negative 50, right? Okay, now they said 10 degrees warmer. So negative 50 plus 10. Negative 50 plus 10. And that will give us negative 40. So you have negative 40 right here. Which temperature works at negative 40? Oh yeah, we can see. So that's going to be this one, 7,000 meters. So that will be 7,000 meters. Yes. I hope you understand. You can always take the video back anytime you don't understand it. Okay, we go to 5A. Simplify this. Okay, all of them have D, so you just deal with the numbers, which is a coefficient. So 8D minus 4D is 4D. 4D plus 7D, that will give you 11D. The next one, M times 10P. So when you're multiplying, you have the number which is 10, then M times P is simply MP. Okay, 10 MP, just like that. We go to C, D, and E. So for C, x plus 5 is equal to negative 19. What is x? So don't forget, when positive 5 goes to the other side, we collect like terms. So x is equal to negative 19. When positive 5 goes to the other side, it becomes negative 5. So you're looking at negative 19, negative 5, which is adding in negatives, negative 24. Okay. Then the next one, y over 8 is equal to 6. When you see division, you have to do multiplication. So you can just cross multiply. Okay, y times 1 is equal to 8 times 6. And 8 times 6 is 48. We go to E. A times A times A times A. A to the power of 4. Take note, this is not 4A. Okay, when you have the same base, you add the powers. Like this is A1, 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 A1. So A to the power of 4. Then we go to this one, 9k minus 4n. So 9k means 9 times k. So if k is 8, you're doing 9 times 8 minus 4n, which is 4 times 12. So subtraction is last. 9 times 8 is 72. 4 times 12 is 48. So you're looking at 72 minus 48. And the answer is 24. We proceed to the next question. Care used this number of units last year. Each units of water cost 0.28 euros. He had already paid for some. He paid for the 2 each month. Okay, so we need to understand what the question is saying. He used 2,358 units. And then each unit means 1. Okay, so if 1 unit costs 0.28, and then you're looking at 2,358 units, you're going to multiply. So 2,358 times 0.28. When you multiply that, that will give us 660. Okay, you're allowed to use your calculator, 0.24. So that's how much he has to pay. Now, they said last year he paid 42 euros per month. And there are how many months in a year? 12 months in a year. So you have to do 42 times 12 to get how much he paid for that for last year. So 42 times 12, that will give you 504. Okay, so he has 660.24 to pay. He has paid 504 already. How much is he yet to pay? So you're going to do subtraction. Okay, so take away 504.00, take away from 660.24. When you do the subtraction, your answer will be 156.24 euros. I hope we understand the solution. Okay. All right, let's proceed to the next one. Yes, questions like this are very important because they carry more marks. ABCD is a quadrilateral, AD is a straight line, work out X. So the first thing you must know, and then they always ask for reasons, is that sum of angles on a straight line is 180. So these two angles make up a straight line, this one and the other one. So when you add these two angles, you should get 180. So how do you get the missing angle? Take 180 minus 138. Okay, so 180 minus 138, and that will give you 42 degrees. So this is 42 degrees because the sum of angles on a straight line is 180. Now the next thing, sum of angles in a quadrilateral is 360 degrees, meaning this is a quadrilateral, this one, okay, it has 4 sides. And when you add up 1, 2, 3, and 4, when I say 3, I mean this one, and 42, you should get 360. So how do you get x? Add the other 3 you have and take away from 360. So when you add the other 3, that will give you 274. Subtract from 360. So we can say 360 minus 274. And that will simply give us 86 degrees, which is the answer. So x is 86 degrees. Okay, we go to number 8. There are 80 cars in the car park. 27 are red, 10 are blue, the rest are white. How many are white? So there are 80 of them. 27 are red, 10 are blue, the rest. So you add 27 plus 10, that will give you 37. 80 minus 37 is going to be the number, okay, is going to be the number for white. So 80 minus 37 should be 43. Okay, I'm sure you can easily calculate that. 80 minus 37 is 43. So 43 are white. Now, write down the probability that the car pit is red. How many red cars are there over the total? That's what you need to do. So red cars are 27. You pick the 27, okay, over the total, okay, that gives you 27 over 80. Then find the probability that this car is white. How many white cars do we have there? We got 43, okay, so take the 43 over the total. 43 over 80, that will give you the probability of getting a white car. So probability is always very simple. Take the amount you're considering over the total you're looking at, and then that gives you the answer. We go to question 9. 15 identical pencils, okay, cost 41.25. Work out the cost of 52. So this is what you need to do. When they give you for 15, you have to get for 1. Okay, so 15 pencils cost this. To get for 1 pencil, okay, you're going to do the right over left. Whatever is on the right, divide by what is on the left. So 41.25 divide by 15. And when you do that, that will give you 2.75. So 1 pencil costs 2.75. If you need for 52 pencils, you're just going to multiply 2.75 multiplied by 52. Okay? And that will give you 143.00, or simply put 143 as the answer. Okay? Get for 1, then multiply to get for the rest. Okay, question 10. We have a line right here, okay? 1 centimeter represents 1.5 kilometers. Then they said Angela walks from the castle, okay, to the tower along a straight path. She takes 18 minutes to walk each kilometers. Work out how many minutes Angela takes to walk from the castle to the tower. Okay, so what do? She takes 18 minutes to walk. So if you look at it, to walk each kilometer, that means 1 kilometer will take 18 minutes. But by the way, 1 centimeter represents 1.5 kilometers. So we need to find out what is the length of this line, okay? How many centimeters is that? If you measure that line, you'll be looking at something like 6 centimeters, okay? When you measure this line, it's like 6 centimeters. So what do? If 1 centimeter represents 1.5 kilometers and you're looking at the line with the measurement 6 centimeters, so you multiply 1.5 times 6. 1 is 1.5, 6 you multiply, and that will give you 9. So that means this is 9 kilometers from the measurement. So if this is 9 kilometers and they say she walks 1 kilometer 18 minutes, so 1 kilometer is 18 minutes, and then you need for 9 kilometers. So for 9 kilometers, what do? You do 18 times 9, okay? And 18 times 9 will give you 162. So that will give you 162 minutes. Yes, the answer is 162 minutes. Okay, question 11. Make D the subject of the formula. Okay, so C equals 8D plus 5. So what do? You need to isolate D. Okay, by bringing plus 5 to this side. So when plus 5 goes to that side, it becomes minus 5. So C minus 5 is equal to 8D. All right? Plus 5 became minus 5. How do you make D stand alone? The coefficient of D is 8. So divide both sides by 8 over 8 over 8. And D is equal to C minus 5 divide by 8. Okay, we got question 12 where we have a graph, okay, of this. Now, when you have a graph like this, you have to plot your table, okay? You have to plot your table. You draw your box. Sorry, I'm just using my free hand. So when you draw your box, something a little bit straight, you have what the values of X are, and then you have the values of Y. Now, and then for the box, you can always use your ruler, please. So you go -2, from -2 to 3. So you have -2, then -1, okay? Then you have 0, 1, 2, and 3. So when X has a value, you find Y. So let's start with this one. The formula says Y equals half X minus 1, okay? So you start when X is -2. What is Y? -2 times 1. That's -2 divided by 2. That's -1. Okay, question 13. Let's go on. The diagram shows a rectangular wall and a square tile. Okay, you have this. Hamish wants to cover all the walls with tiles. They are sold in boxes. There are 6 tiles in each box. The box of tiles costs 17.5. Okay, so what do? The first thing is you know the dimensions of the tile, okay? 0.3 times 0.3. Then there are 6 tiles in a box, okay? So we need to know how many tiles are we going to need for this wall, okay? So what do? The area of the wall divide by the area of the tile. So that would tell us how many tiles we're going to use. So let's say area is length times the width, right? 3.6 times 2.1 divide by the area of the tile, that's 0.3 times another 0.3. So when you divide these two areas, you're going to get 84, okay? So when you divide it, you have 84. So that means we need 84 tiles to cover the wall. Now, the next thing they said is that tiles are sold in boxes, 6 of them for in each box, okay? And then each box costs this. So how many boxes can we have with 84? So if you want to get how many boxes, you're going to divide by 6. So 6 and 8 is 1, remainder 2, 6 and 24, 4. So we need 14 boxes to cover the wall. So the next thing, one box is 17.50. To get for 14 boxes, what do? You multiply, okay? 17.5 multiplied by 14. And when you do that, you get 245 pounds. Yes. So the answer is 245 pounds. I hope you understand it. 245. Okay, let's look at question 14. A triangular spinner can land on 2, 4, 6. Okay, all of that, all of that. Now, if you watch the pattern, okay, they said she adds the number. So to complete it, you just do the addition. 2 plus 1 is 3. 2 plus 2 is 4. So go ahead. 2 and 3, that will give you 5. 2 plus 4 is 6. 4 plus 1 is 5. 4 plus 2 is 6. 4 plus 4 is 8. 6 plus 1 has to be 7. And this is 8. And this obviously is 9. And that is 10. Okay, so this is how you complete it. Then find the probability that our score is 9 or less. So how many numbers are 9 or less? Almost all of them. 1, 2. So you have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. 11 out of 12 are 9 or less. So the probability is 11 over 12. Okay, so let's consider this next question. Rema buys 140 plants. Okay, 35% of them cost 6 each. Okay, so let's say we have 140 plants. So they gave us a number. 35% cost 6 each. So you can get 35% of 40 by doing 0.35 times 140. So 35%, 0.35 times 140, that will give you 49. So these 49 are sold at 6 each. Just put that in mind, 6 each. Then they also told us that a quarter of 140 cost 8 each. A quarter of 140 means anytime you're getting a quarter, divide by 4. 140 divided by 4 is 35. Okay, so a quarter, this is 35. That 35, they said they sold for 8 each. So you multiply by 8 to get the cost. And then the rest of the 140 plants cost 10 each. How many are the rest? If you've taken 49 plus 35, whatever that is, remove from 140. Okay, so when you remove from 9 plus 35 is 84. Remove from 140, that will give you 56. So meaning here we got 56 of them. So that 56, they said they cost 10 each, so times 10. So how much is the total cost? You get your 49 times 6, which is 294, and get 35 times 8, which is 280 right here. Then of course 56 times 10 is 560. So when you add up everything together, 294 plus 280 plus 560, that will give you 1,134 pounds. 1134, which is the final answer there. Okay, let's proceed to question 16. By rounding each number to one significant figure, work out the estimate. Yeah, significant figures always appear with Igcse. So let's say you have 21.4 and they say round to one significant figure. You're going to just pick the first number and then round it up. So this is all others turned to 0. So this is 20.0. Okay, and that is, if you need to round up, take note, you could round up as well. Then let's say you have 38.9 and they say round to one significant figure. This 3 here will turn to 4 because you needed to round up it. So that would be 40.0. So back to the question, this will be 30.0 because you're rounding down, and this is 50. So you have to do 30 times 50, which is 1,500 as the final answer. Question 17. Okay, they said reflect the shape in the line x equals to 1. So where is x equal to 1? Right here. Okay, we have it right here. Use your ruler. Okay, so you have this. Then you're going to reflect. So when you're reflecting, the same amount to the left is the same thing to the right. So to the left, you go 1, 2. To the right, you go 1, 2, meaning you're going to start here. So you're drawing the opposites. Okay, this covers 2. Okay, with a ruler, you have that. So you draw to the right like that. You go 2, so this covers 2, and then you can just so, okay. So this is the reflected shape. All right, so let's come to this one. Write down the modal class. Modal is the one with the highest number. Okay, so which one has the highest number? It has to be class of 10 to 15. Okay, so class 10 to 15 is a modal class. Okay, 10 to 15. All right, work out an estimate for the mean hourly rate. So how do you get the estimate for the mean? Now, you know that when it comes to frequency tables, the mean is summation of the fx over summation of f. So in this case, we have to get fx, and fx simply means you get the class limit. I know most of you can do this. Class limit is like you add the two on the left and the right and divide by 2. So when you do that here, you got 12.5. Okay, I'm just going to summarize this because I know most students can do frequency tables. Add those two, divide by 2, 17.5, 22.5. This is 27.5, and this is 32.5. So the next thing you do is you multiply the limit and the frequency. Okay, so when you multiply, this is 12.5 times 18, 225, 280, 315, 320, and then 130. Okay, so what do? You get the summation of the fx over summation of f. So add this together. Okay, this is fx. When you add it together, you have 1170, and add the frequency together to get 60. So what do? You divide. So you take 1170 and divide it by 60. So this is 19.5. Yes, and that gives you 19.5. Okay, so let's move on. You're meant to use your compass for this to bisect this angle. Okay, you know how to use that. You can easily practice construction. Okay, so let's go to 20A. The power inside multiplies the power outside. Okay, when you see, let's say p to the power of 2, and then there's a power like maybe 4. So power inside times power outside, 2 times 4, in this case, P8. So back here, power inside times power outside. So 3 times 5 is 15, and that's p to the power of 15. Then for expansion, we're going to open the brackets. Okay, we'll open the bracket. So this will multiply this, and we'll multiply the other one. This will multiply, and then we simplify. So 2n times 4n is 8n squared. 2n times 3 is 6n. Then n times n is n squared, and then minus 4n. So 8n squared plus n squared, that would be 9n squared. Then 6n minus 4n is 2n. So 9n squared plus 2n. And that's the final answer. That's what we got. We move to C, where they said you should solve and show your working. So what do we have? You can cross multiply. When you have something like this, you cross multiply, okay? So when you cross multiply, 3 will multiply 4 minus x, and that is equal to 2x plus 5 times 1 times 4 is 12. 3 times x is 3x equals 2x plus 5. What do? We collect like terms, okay? Take the negative 3x to the other side. Take plus 5 to the left. 12 minus 5, positive becomes negative, equals 2x plus 3x. 12 minus 5 is 7. 7 is equal to 5x. And x is equal to 5 over, okay, 5x, turn it around, 5x equals 7, and x is 7 over 5. Just like that. Members of set B. What are the members in set B? That's the numbers in the B circle. Okay, so you have 2, 3, 5, and 7. Then members in set A intersection B. A intersection B means what is common. When you see intersection, it means what is common between A and B. So you can see 3 and 7. You have 3, and then you have 7. Those are common to A and B. So the next question says, okay, A prime. A prime are the ones not in set A. Okay, the ones not in set A, and you have 2, 4, 5, 6, and 8. I hope you understand. Okay, let's come to this question. We have a cylinder, okay? The radius is 70, the height is 18. And then they say work out the volume. So volume of a cylinder is pi r squared h. Pi times radius squared times height. So pi is always 3.14, and then radius is 70. You can see from the center to the circumference. So 70 times 70 times the height, which is 18. So when you multiply 3.14 times 70 times 70 times 18, when you do your multiplication, you're going to have 27 with the 6. Okay, so when you do the multiplication, you have 276,948 centimeters squared. Now they say give your answer in liters to the nearest liter. How do you change this to liters? 1 liter is 1,000 centimeter cube. So if you want, liter is 1,000 centimeter cube. So how do you change this to liters? You divide by 1,000. When you do that, you move 3 places to the left, 1, 2, 3, and this will give you 276.948. 276.948 approximately to the nearest liter, that's to the nearest whole number, 277 liters. That gives you 277 liters. Just write that again. That was the answer to the division by 1,000. Yes, 277 liters. Okay, we move to this question where we're finding the highest common factor. The highest common factor is the smallest one in each group. So the two with the powers are in one group. Let me give this example. 2 to the power of 2 times 3 to the power of 3, 2 times 3 to the power of 4. So the HCF is the smallest one in each group. In the groups of 2, you got 2 is the smaller one. You got 3 to the power of 3 as the in the group of 2, 2 is the smaller one. In the group of 3, we have 3 to the power of 3 as a smaller one. So you can say the HCF in this example is 2 times 3 to the power of 3. Okay, just like that. Okay, so back to the question. What we do is in each groups, okay, in each of the group, we pick the smallest one and it has to be common. So 2 is in every one of them, 2 to the 5 is in all of them, so you use 5 to the power of 2, and 7 is in all of them, you use 7. So you pick the smallest one in each group. Okay, let's get to this question. Shop A and B have offers buying the same type of laptop. The normal price in A is different from B. Okay, so for A, the normal price is £475, and they said they're going to give 16% off the normal price. So if they are giving 16% off, the normal price is 100%. So if they give 16% off, that means you take 16 from 100. 100 minus 16 is 84%. So to get the price they're going to sell, you find 84% of 475. And 84% is 0.84 times 475. So that should give you 399. Then let's go to the second shop B, okay? 15% off our normal price and only pay 408. So if they are giving you 15% off, the normal price is 100%. They are giving 15% off. So 100 minus 15 is 85%. That means you're buying at 85%. And that 85% you're buying, okay, that price is 408. Now, the simple way, 85% of something is 408. Flip and multiply. When you flip 85%, it becomes 100 over 85 times 408. Okay? So let's say they tell you 20% of something is 16. To get the full thing, flip and multiply. That's the best way. So flip and then multiply by 408, and that will give you 480. So that means the normal price was 480. So let's analyze it like this. Okay, the normal price for shop A was 475. They want to give you at 399. Then for B, this is for A. For B, the normal price was 480. They want to give you at 408. So what's the difference? For A, when you do the subtraction, 475 minus 399, that will give you 76. Then for B, if you do the subtraction, that will give you 72. So which shop gives you more money? That is shop A. Yes, A will give you which shop will give you more money off? Yeah, A is going to save you more money off. You get saved 76. Okay, and that is it, because shop A will save 76, shop B will save 72. Okay. All right, I hope that is clear. We go to, okay, for 25A, we want to factorize. So if you're going to factorize this, you first of all multiply A by C. X squared times negative 24 is negative 24x squared. So you find two factors of negative 24 that will add up to give what you have in the middle. So the fact that you have negative means one of your factors is going to be positive, the other one negative. And when there's positive in the middle, the bigger factor will be positive. So this is plus 8 and negative 3. Okay, you can do the opposite. Okay, plus 8 and negative 3, because they have to add up to give plus 5. So in factorizing, you can just say this is x plus 8, and another bracket you have x minus 3. So that would be the answer to that. Now they said solve. So since you factorize as x plus 8 and x minus 3, what you just need to do now is to equal to 0. Okay, so each of this is equal to 0. X plus 8 is equal to 0. When you take plus 8 to the other side, okay, x will become negative 8. And when you take plus 3 to the other side, it will become or positive 3. So x is 8 or positive 3. Then we have this question that says solve the inequality. So what do? You collect like terms. This is positive 7y. It goes to the other side, becomes negative. Positive 5 becomes negative. So 3y minus 7y is greater than negative 10, negative 5. So 3y minus 7y is negative 4y is greater than negative 15. So how do you solve this? Divide by negative 4. When you divide the inequality by negative, it will turn the other way. So negative 4 divide negative 4. Y is less. This negative will divide by 15 over 4. Or you simplify to 3 whole number. 3 over 4, like that. So that gives you 15 over 4. So write this as an ordinary number. Okay, so when there's negative, okay, there's all the notations, the scientific standard and all that. What you do is you divide. Okay, you move to the left 5 places. So you go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. The point is here, you put a 0. So all of this will carry 0. So 0.000, 4 zeros before the 8 4. 0.00008 and 4. Okay, so the next one, work out this. So you can do 6.5 times 8. When you do 6.5 times 8, that gives you 48. 10 to the power of negative 40 and 10 to the power of 185. So when you have the same base, you're going to add the powers. So when you add negative 40 plus 185, that will give you 145. But you need to put it in standard form, meaning there's a point in front of the first number. So when it's 4.8, 48 is 4.8 times 10, right? And then you have 10 to the power of 145. So what do? You see this 10 is 10 to the power of 1. Okay, so 1 and 145 can add. So you can say 4.8 times 10 to the power of 146, like that. Okay, we have two similar triangles here. How do we solve this question? Work out the value of x. So if they are similar, you need this side. You need at least two sides. Okay, so we have x, we have 24. Okay, we need either the hypotenuse or this one. So we can easily get this one and compare with this. So how do you get that? You have to use Pythagoras theorem. And in Pythagoras theorem, okay, we can just say that c squared, b is the square root of c squared minus a squared, assuming 24 is a. So b is equal to square root of c squared minus a squared. Now you can see C is 51, square root of 51 squared minus 24 squared. So 51 squared minus 24 squared, when you calculate that, that will give us, let's see, 2025. So square root of 2025 is 45. Okay, that is 45. Then once you know B, you can easily just equate this. Okay, so x over 24, since they are similar, you can equate is equal to 7.5 over 45. And next we can cross multiply. 24 times 7.5 divided by 45. Okay, when you cross multiply, x will simply give you 4, and x is 4 centimeters.
Like and subscribe for more fun math videos at Fun Math with Kenny. Thanks for watching.